team.
The right thing.
Oh dear.
You've changed sides. Changed sides.
You just do that.
Thanks. We're all ready to go?
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
cool. Welcome to Vampires and Vitae. Thank you so much for joining us at our table again. We normally kick it off to Tyler, but we got a little bit of an announcement today from Raja.
It's just a little quick thing about my family. I got to acknowledge some of my fantastic family members. My nephew Braden and my niece Vanna. They both graduated high school this year. But the amazing part is they both graduated early.
Hey.
Vanna was a junior and Braden was a sophomore
Hey.
graduating high school. Who would have thought that people related to me could be so smart? There's 3 more of my baby sister's kids to go, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Those,
Yeah.
those
That's
brain
for the
cells have to
kids.
go somewhere, you know?
Right.
They skip generations. Notoriously.
Yeah, they definitely skipped me.
Well, good.
They're like blue eyes, you know?
Yeah. Right.
They skip a couple.
All right, Tyler, you're up.
All right, congratulations, guys. If you're watching, I'm sure, hope you are. Leave a comment in the section. We'll know that you're taking a look at us.
The
Well, these
world
kids
is
are
your
not watching.
oyster.
It's- Our show is not appropriate for these kids.
Fair enough.
They just graduated.
Yeah, but they're so
As
smart.
a
They graduated
sophomore
so
and a
early.
junior,
Yeah.
it's not like they're 18.
They're too smart for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's more like
That's
it.
fair. I'll
Yeah.
take that. I'll take that. All right, Tyler, give us a little bit of background on what happened last week.
Last week, howdy.
Howdy.
Good to see you. My rootin' tootin' cowboys, cowgirls,
Y'all.
cowdays.
Count these.
Yeah.
All the cows.
Yeah.
Say yeah. I say yeah.
Listen,
Deep cut.
We need to leave Mr. Fantastic in season 1, okay?
He's in the lost.
Fantastic's always coming
He's in the
back.
lost tapes. He's not even
Right.
cataloged correctly.
Yeah.
That is
God,
funny.
if you only
Thank God
knew.
he's in the lost
If
days.
you only knew.
Yeah, I say yeah.
Say yeah.
I say yeah.
You have to tell them to leave. Okay.
And he didn't.
Still gold.
Okay. So last week though, we had a classic whodunit. There was a murder in Savannah or Amarillo or somewhere in between California and New
between.
Mexico. I'm not really sure. We don't have
Somewhere in
GPS.
there. Yeah.
The death of a Miss Lotus? Orchid. I just met a person named Lotus today, so I'm confused.
Fair.
Lady Orchid was dead,
She was.
and then she wasn't. Yeah. Look at old body double switcheroo.
Yeah.
Fixed it.
Which Rose respects.
Right?
I do. Yeah, I understand that.
So then Dr. Travel, the guy who reminds me of Mole from Atlantis,
You're very, yes. That's very
That's
much-
what I see.
You are correct there, sir. Yes.
started putting crystals against the body to determine some kind of occult thing. Alister was just kind of walking around, tapping his cane all over the place.
There was a few taps.
He was tapping, found a window. I didn't find a window. Actually, Barnaby found a window. I looked at the window, did not understand what it meant. I tapped on it, and then and then Pierre started crawling around like a spider monkey on the top of the train. There was a lot of back and forth. I know Barnaby found that the blood was a very specific smell, and then Alister remembered what Assamites were and was like, "We have to leave. You have to tell him to leave."
It's really pretty
Yeah.
solid advice.
Yeah, they're quite destructive.
And
Quite
so
destructive.
then pulled Rusty and Barnaby and it was like, "Hey, we're fucked." Just so you're aware. And Rusty, who was aware and was already kind of staring out the window with a rifle, was like, "Oh, we're fucked. Interesting." So we got back together. There was I know Rose helped the doctor and with the crystal and everything, so the mist coming out. There was a little bit of he's not all bullshit,
Yeah.
he's just kind of
Just
stupid.
doesn't get it yet.
He's got a how-to guide for dummies.
Yes,
you know.
essentially.
But he's got all the
Couple
tools.
Pages missing.
Yeah.
He's got all the tools, but he's not a carpenter.
Yeah,
you know.
he bought this stuff like a wannabe engineer and then just kind of sets it up and never does
Yeah, he
anything
doesn't
with
have the
it.
degree, but he has.
It was a gift pack from Wish.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Could have been.
And then, on top of all this, all of a sudden there was noise in the cattle car, much to Rusty's dismay.
My cattle.
To pull up and see a werewolf hulking out, just ripping beef, just
She's a girl, but yes.
what? I'm just hulked out ripping beef. That's what happened.
Yeah,
My beef.
yeah, right.
My beef. my short ribs. Hopefully, I'm hoping that they're cut into like nice, slices,
Perfectly,
so you can just kind of like give them to the dinner car and we can, feast. But
wasted.
there we saw a shadowy being that was ping-ponging around the cattle car, and collectively with Alister and Rose's gun skills, mostly Rose's gun skills. Rose can fucking hit a hay penny from 100 yards apparently.
Yep.
Alister didn't do bad, but he definitely was not.
He had a shot off,
He was
for sure.
He was
I
cracking
just pictured it
9
being
successes.
bouncing around.
Yeah, right. 9 successes on a chest shot, you know. And then we kind of collectively just beat the shit out of this Assamite.
Yeah, you were able
Like,
to.
we fuck around a lot on this podcast, but when we need to get the job done,
Yeah.
I saw a little bead of sweat on Robbie's
Oh
eyebrow.
yeah, you were not supposed to be able to
Hey,
trap him quite
you were
so
like,
easily.
what's happening? And I was like, get back, bring him back. Yeah.
Pull him back! Pull him back!
He tried to escape, and Barnaby's like, come back, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
So I think the Assamite is riddled with bullet holes, has a knife
he's
to its
covered.
throat. Barnaby you're on top of the Assamite, right? Was that where we left off?
I think
The two.
Both of you.
I was holding his legs, and
Right.
Barnaby's
Yeah.
on top of him.
So
Right.
we got a
So you're-
gangrel and a bruja.
And then a werewolf staring on
Yeah,
top
there-
of
yeah,
that.
that's-
And then you've got 2 vampires that are crack shots.
doing.
So that's what's going on. This is happening. Man, fuck this Assamite. What am I?
Why are we so worried about it?
Where's Pierre?
Assamite, my Assamite.
Why don't you kiss my ass, you mite?
Yeah, right.
Whose ass is his mite from?
Yeah, right. Nice. He does look up to you. There's a very large panic in his eyes. More like you see that like his glaring eyes to like shooting between the two of you, and then it just kind of slowly trips back up, and you do feel that omnipresence of being next to werewolf. It is. They're not attacking you, but there's definitely a bit of dread, especially I believe it was Rusty that had the drool that had just come
That
off
was
of
Barnaby.
Barnaby, yeah, of one of the only few teeth in this particular werewolf's jaw.
It's a big tooth. Rose, is that? I don't want to deal with that.
I'm afraid you've already dealt with that.
You can feel his body subtly shifting underneath. Like he hasn't given up yet, but I mean, like he doesn't have very far to go. So he's still. I mean, he's poised, but
Gentlemen, are you good over there?
Let's do something quickly.
Can I look up at the werewolf and
big couple teeth.
Man.
Like,
Catfish.
man, would you mind holding this thing down?
just this big claw just comes down, and like you can hear it like rip into like actually this would be the cattle car, right? So the steel of the actual undergrates where the restroom is used for the cows. during
I'm
this time
pretty sure
period.
he's not going to go anywhere with her holding
let-
him down.
Yeah, right. The hand's big enough that like in between the pointer finger and the secondary finger, like that's where the neck is held. Like it's just being.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we can restrain this this nuisance,
I believe he's currently restrained.
well, if we could get him alone in a room, I might be able to get him to talk.
Fair enough.
I mean, who else is here?
Would you mind helping us out?
The other hand comes underneath, and like how you would deal with a snake.
Because I know who it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The like you can see her like getting a hand, like the second hand comes in and it comes from underneath the neck, so she just kind of picks him up far away from her body. You know
Also,
what I
2
mean?
questions. Is that a werewolf, and is that a problem?
Yes, and I don't think so currently.
Okay. A lot of the enemy of my enemy is my friend here. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of what we're working with.
Good to meet you. I have no idea. Oh, by the way, I have no idea who this is.
It just shakes the Assamite in front of you as in a greeting. Like
Well, my study has between the Lady Orchid's room and my room. There's nowhere to go once those doors are locked.
Yes, and they lock from
The inside,
the inside.
so we won't be bothered. So might be a little bit better than I pointed like the slats in the side. And just
So you
all
can
of
see
the-
that there's like one of the it wasn't his attack, but it was actually one of her rakes that missed that actually did tear into some of the. You can feel gusts coming in, from the outside. And, yeah, so
we're traveling like 60 miles an hour, so it's a pretty good breeze blowing.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
So getting into an area where they might not be able to just run out on us.
I mean, we could break femurs. Then he can't run.
With the two claws around, she's just very wide-eyed to you. So
You've never met an Assamite. If they can't run, they crawl. If they can't crawl, they'll wiggle.
So
Yeah, man, maybe if you just like sort of in the middle, just
Just twist it.
give him a little twist.
But if we could do that in the car,
Yeah.
She does. She doesn't wait. She does like one of the hands starts going to her like the back and like he like bends it this way. You know what I mean? Like as if you're arching the back. Like and you can hear a pop of a vertebrae. Another grievous wound.
that's a dislocation.
that
Yeah,
might do
that's-
the job for a couple of minutes at least.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, if we could
the,
just,
the
you
legs
know,
that were kicking slightly, like they do pause for a moment. So she's, I mean, he will heal that, but
Right. So I say for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
all right.
So let's retire to Mr. Alister's car.
even with the breaking of the back, though, you notice that only a small grunt came out of this
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah. We used a bunch of rope, didn't we?
No, not yet.
We
have
haven't used the
rope.
rope.
We have
yet?
rope.
Well, let's bring that. I mean,
We
it
went fishing
might-
for cows last time.
Yeah,
so.
it might
rope.
might hold him for an extra 30 seconds, so that
Yeah.
might be all we need. So
Well, as long as we've got the big lady here, I think we'll be all right.
yeah.
And Barnaby, I believe that you're acquainted already.
Yeah, we're cool. Ma'am.
That like that deep guttural like wolf sound. All right, and she'll ungingerly walk him back to imagine your study.
Yeah, and tie him down to probably my main chair that I use.
Okay.
Ooh, behind the desk.
Yeah,
Whoa.
The big seat.
and then I move my desk away, so it's like a big empty room kind of vibe. You know,
Okay.
I push all the furniture to the side, and then he's in the middle and tied up.
Nice.
You do see Pierre. He takes a seat on the bench. You know, like one of the ones that you push to off to the side. She's kind of up.
So you're friends with the hunter, and I'm sort of friends with the
That
werewolf.
I don't know what's more
I
impressive.
think Barnaby's more friends with the werewolf than I am.
You see the werewolf trying to figure out where to sit, and it's like gingerly like starts to sit on like one of your trunks, and like you hear the creaking of like. She thinks better of it.
It's mahogany.
Yeah, right. Does one of these like trying to stand cool, but like, doesn't really work in this particular hulking form. Like the head's a little bit stooped because it would be to
Yeah.
the ceiling,
Right.
So it's very uncomfortable for her at the moment.
I mean, she's big in human form.
Oh yeah,
I think Alister
Earl.
like rolls up his sleeves a little bit and pours himself some of that spit whiskey from episode 1.
yeah.
He doesn't know, but you know.
Yeah, I know.
As he pours himself from the crystal decanter, and then a second chair and sits in front of this gentleman. And I'm just kind of looking at him. You know, there's this pause. You can just kind of hear the train tracks. Just kind of staring. Your kind is as rare as you are deadly, so I'm going to assume you didn't have all the information as to who was on this train.
You can see like the handprint. I mean, like he is healing, but the windpipe was probably a little bit crushed during this. Here for you.
It doesn't matter. I'm here.
So many kindred on this plane, on this train.
Well, let's play a game. I'll tell you a truth and you tell me a truth. How does that work for you? And so long as you tell the truth, you will at least momentarily continue to breathe.
He nods.
Rose will stand behind Alister with the long rifle over her shoulder.
Okay.
Damn good shot.
No. 7?
9. There's like 9
Nine,
sixes.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll do.
Got that leaky gut. Who was your target?
The Lady of Flowers.
Okay. I love the ridiculousness of that call.
Right.
Sorry.
You can show it to the camera
For the
if you want.
viewers, that
Yeah, right. It's a cup slash
Dice tower.
Nerd.
I feel like it's
It's so good.
possibly
Did you
my
print that,
favorite
Sean?
thing that's-
No, I wish.
It's so good.
Where
love to
did
take credit
where
for
did you? I don't want to know.
It's so good.
eBay. So
Wish.
that works.
Ah, everything does exist on the
Yes, it
internet.
does.
I love
Yeah.
it. Okay, so you were here for the Lady of Flowers, but you were unaware of the manifest.
She was getting on one train. I realized that after we got past Amarillo, I would have her to myself.
All right. Oh, feel free to ask. I believe that. Feel free to ask me something.
Did you tame a werewolf?
Does that look tame to you?
Like the sconce she was leaning on, like in her hand, you know, kind of like fumbles and looks. She's a little bit more dainty in this, you know what I mean? Like you got to remember, she was very attractive with her mouth closed. You know what I mean? Like
She's a hotter werewolf than she is
yeah,
a
right.
person.
Yeah, like just kind of, you know, if you put a hippo in a dress, you know, very not understanding how to move
Like
freshly.
Pearl from SpongeBob.
There we go. Yes, yeah, that works.
Yes.
That works.
Nice.
No, my only mission was to stop her.
And I assume because... Do you know who I am?
I know you're kindred. It's a deep smell. I know you're Ventru. In this cabin, you are wealthy. From your liquor cabinet, you have good taste.
It's a little off, but yeah.
Wonder why.
You travel in a coven? Is this your group?
Well, that's the interesting thing. My name is Alister Hayworth. I'm sure you've heard my name through the Camarilla. These people happened to have the same idea at the same time. I was planning to get away from the Camarilla for the time being. You know how they are.
I don't work exclusively for the Camarilla.
I didn't say you did. I said you know how they are.
That's why we don't work exclusively with them.
So I commandeered this train, and I was planning on taking the last stop to the west. It appears that there are multiple kindred with a distaste for the bureaucratic nature of eternity. And so here we are.
Well, then let me go. I've done my job.
Well, see, that's the issue, is that I might not know your name, but I know what you are, and you haven't done your job until this train is derailed. So how can I expect you to go back to your people with this train safely intact? How is that going to reflect upon you and your nature? Because the last time I encountered an Assamite, 1,300 dead?
It probably was a slow day for that man. What if I don't blow up the car?
Well, that would be ideal. And I wouldn't say you're in the most advantageous situation, so...
He, like, points, like, gestures to his neck. Fighting a werewolf. The family could excuse just the death of the Lady of Flowers if I encountered a beast of such as that. I could explain to them that I just was forced to flee. I could say the werewolf was her disguised protector. Even an Assamite is not expected to go against a werewolf.
Well, an Assamite is not expected to fail either. I would expect some kind of retaliation.
I could bring back her head. It would prove that she died.
One moment. Then it's fucking...
Yeah.
sidebar.
Huddle up.
Yeah.
So you guys get into a circle, and then two big arms go like around, you know, like, each of it.
Yeah.
Subtle smell of catfish.
Subtle?
I don't understand the why.
What do you mean?
I don't understand the why. Why he was hired to assassinate.
You
Lady
haven't
Flowers.
you haven't shared that conversation yet.
Yeah, I could definitely try and pry that information out of him. But the real question is, how do we handle the situation? Because my worry is that if we kill him, they're going to send more. You see, a contract needs to be fulfilled. So he has more leverage than I want to admit in front of him, which is that he's aware that we can take on an Assamite, but he's also probably aware that we probably couldn't take on two.
And he was not expecting a werewolf.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want that family coming after us.
So even if they are uninformed as to why he failed, they can be resting assured that there are powerful entities that ensured his failure, and they will send much worse things towards us, and I would like to avoid that if possible.
So the answer is to send him with proof of completion and let him go? That doesn't feel safe either.
It's not, it's a gamble.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not going to say anything without the rest of you, because as much as I'd like to say this is my train, this is our lives. So
It's a big gamble.
it is, but
Yeah, but we don't have much of a choice, do we?
yeah, again, from what I know with the Assamites, they do not fail. So
I've only
he will-
heard tales.
He'll be reprimanded for not derailing the train, but that is a secondary motive to his cause. He has to kill the Lady of Flowers.
Well, I wonder if another answer is, should we find out about a train coming behind us, we could set it up to have that train derail.
I'm not sure what the. I mean,
You would have this information because of the amount of money and everything. There's only one train.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
It does a loop. You know what I mean? Like, and half the time that train has failed. So
we are on a railroad track that goes to and from the last stop, and this is the only train that makes it. There were trains. They have derailed. This is not
Quite a few. It took me a while to be able to book a train that I could get from there back east and back out here. There's only this engine here.
Yeah.
the lady has a good point. Pierre speaks up. You know, what if we derail it after it leaves, drop us off, and chance to make it go off the tracks on the way back. It'll look the same.
Mr. Poof, have you met the engineer or his assistant?
I have not.
And beyond that, what if we need to get back at some point out of the West? We are deserting ourselves to the wilds.
This is true. I do want to have a nice steak at least once again. So, being absolutely stranded forever in my time life is, not that I do not like all of you, but the girls of Paris maybe call me one day. Yeah?
Well, trust me, there's going to be good steaks.
Yeah, well,
I got a couple of cars for it.
I was about to say, we got filet mignon and everything else you could want over there.
So that begs the question is, how do we trust someone like this?
Anyone that wants to, while taking a glimpse at him, you can give me a intelligence and investigation, because it doesn't need just to be real quick. You can take a long gander if you'd like.
1.
I got 2.
Okay.
2.
Triple twos.
All
brother.
right.
Urethra.
Yeah. Urethra, as in the thing I pee from? Yeah, right.
It's not quite a eureka.
Yeah,
moment.
I like it. Yeah. No. But you know what? Eye-opening anyway. With the one, you pick up Rose that you can see that his feet from the broken back, they're already starting to twitch a little bit.
Right.
Like you can see him trying to force blood down through, not grimacing or anything. The 3 2s that we got there, you can see that his face is beaten up. You haven't really done any insight into that, but it's just a visual thing. But the one thing that's not healing on him is the scratch Like, you know what I mean? Like it's carved in. It's specifically designed to really fuck up I mean, like he's not lying. That there's almost nothing else that could have done this to him.
Okay.
So he will have proof.
Okay. I think we have a limited time, but I think if I were to make the decision, I would say that we let him go with stipulations, because the alternative is the almost assured destruction of the town that we land in.
Yeah.
The Assamites will follow the trail.
Now, do you think Mr. Squibb and his associates are going to give up that lady's head? I mean, if we explain the situation to them, they really don't have much of a choice.
I say, with all due respect, what's dead is dead.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying the way they practically worshipped her.
Does anyone besides Alister know that that's a body double yet?
I feel like Rose knew.
I think Rose was
Yeah,
there
I think
for it.
I think
So
Alistair
the two,
Rose
so the
were
two
there,
of you
yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
this. So as far as you're concerned, and he's concerned, he completed the task.
Right.
You know?
I'm not going to divulge the information to you two right now, but I'm going to say, you let me handle that.
All right. I trust you. I got no choice.
Okay. Rose, is this okay with you?
Yeah, if I continue to think about it too hard, I'm just going to start thinking myself into circles. So,
Yes, it's dangerous.
and I don't want to get into decision paralysis. So I say, majority rules.
Okay.
And I don't exactly have an opinion. I'm just
Barnaby, do you have it?
As long as the werewolf doesn't have an issue with this, I think we're good.
there.
Because we haven't asked her yet.
Or Mr. Poof.
Because, you know, heads ahead, we're not even killing anybody. I mean, it's a tragedy that the Lady of Flowers is no longer with us. She was quite a nice treat to look at, but, you know.
Werewolf, I don't know your name.
Right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later after the situation's remedied.
Knowing what I know about your kind, I know how deeply you need to rid the world of this thing, but there will be a dozen more that will rip you apart if this one dies tonight. There is a time to be patient on these things, and thank you for not killing me personally, because I know I'm, not your favorite type of creature.
Yeah, that uneasiness does not go away.
Yeah, no.
Yours is slightly diminished being a gangrel, but it's omnipresent, you know.
But you have to ask yourself now if the destruction of the place where you're going is worth one less monster.
She goes makes like a fist and like a blooming of a flower, and she goes,
Cool.
I'm going to assume that is okay.
Affirmative,
That is
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Thank you, ma'am.
I retake.
Barnaby speaks sign language. He got
yeah,
it.
right, yeah.
I'm gonna retake my seat in front of him, and I believe we can come to a compromise here. Now, there's two ways out of this. One is that you die here and now, and we wrestle with the possibility that you are avenged by your family in some way.
There will be consequences for me, but
The second option is that there will be consequences for you for failing to derail this train, which I am aware is a secondary issue. We will give you the head of the Lady of Flowers so that you may find peace among that, and you will leave with your life, and in return, you speak not a word of what happened tonight, besides that there was a werewolf.
You've got the proof.
yeah, it will. I will never forget. The eye does flicker towards the werewolf. That I will never forget. But a group of vampires that travel with a werewolf and a hunter. This I can understand. This they will shame me, but it will be understood. I won't mention you, but I will mention the wolf.
Hard not to with the scar. And you will save us both the embarrassments.
And your knowledge of Assamite is a bargain is a bargain as long as both sides are held up. Which you
So-
realize maybe won't happen with your knowledge when he gets back to wherever the hell he needs to go and show the proof. But these two don't know that. But you do know that if the exchange is done underneath, as long as he's under the impression that you're holding up your side of the bargain, he will leave.
With that, I give a nod and I take out my stiletto and I cut the knots, and then I cut my hand and offer it to him. I'm going to try and bond him.
It'll be a joint bond.
Yeah.
The unbreakable bond. The handshake. There's a moment he looks at you because he thinks he knows that you know about Assamites. So he'll cut his hand and go up.
Yeah. And I shake his hand.
There's a sizzle. Yeah, right. There's a
I know. I'm thinking about it. Earlier.
You look thirsty.
Here for a drink, sir.
yeah, right. There is a sizzle. He doesn't seem like he's doing this maliciously, but they have acidic blood. So it's like it burns. You do take 1 point of non-aggravated damage, but he's not forcing poison into you. It's just in the contact. For example, he could spit it, or you know what I mean. Like if you tried to feed on him, it's one of their defenses that you kind of get kicked off, in a way.
Gotcha.
Unless the other guy could put venom into him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
High fives around.
In that moment, you have an appreciation for him being honorable to some degree because of the blood transfusion, and he seems to trust that you're going to do what you're going to say you're going to do, and this was at least an outcome that he could, prosper from instead of just die. But you do have a little now tinge in your head, not a strong, overwhelming urge, but you do feel bad about what's going to happen to this guy when he drops off the head.
Maybe he won't get killed.
Yeah, right.
With that, I'm going to ask Pierre, do you have an axe?
In fact, yes, in my cabin, I'm more of a shooty, but, sometimes you need to cut someone's head off. So.
Oh, okay, that's what I need to do.
Yes, my head cutting axe. It's just normal axe, but yes, I got I mean, it is silver, so it may be difficult for you to wield.
I look at the werewolf. I'm like, see the Assamite out, please.
Why don't we leave him here until we get the head back, and then
He's. I'm not going to tell him.
he's free to do what he wants at this point, really. But we're going to acquire the head. Perhaps he should wait here.
Is the body still in the dining car?
Yeah, there's a tablecloth put over by Chip is kind of where you.
I'll go.
Somebody's going to need to talk to Squib about this
Yeah.
and privately explain the situation and the dire situation that we're in.
I got
Does-
this.
That sounds like an Alister.
I was gonna
Hayward
say,
thing.
I feel like Alister has the charisma that we need.
Yeah, that's all.
I have a 4.
Yeah.
I am going to
Is
go
all
to
you
Pierre's
need.
room.
I see you open up the door from your cabin, leading into their sleeping area.
Yeah, to go. I'm like, I'm going to go get that head for you.
No problem.
And I open that door.
The door opens, you hear, "Chocolate blue. They are real." And you have this doctor with his guy behind that was following all the magical footprints to figure out where this killer went. And he's looking dead in the face for his very first time into a werewolf. And this is the only time in the first time of his life that he's been proven right that there is something magical.
Is this guy really short?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pick him up. We're going to put him in the room. And I'm going to close the door. I'm just going to.
Watson! It's like, bring him. You know what I mean?
I just put him in. I'm like, I'm not doing this right now. I cannot.
What are you?
And then Alister literally closes the door on
Yeah,
that.
right. So you guys
To
are
that,
not
what are you? And I just
Yeah.
close the door. I'm like, Pierre, we got to go.
Yeah, it's just like, that's not okay. So I'm glad that we are not worried about breaching your what is it called the magic dance.
Yes, the magic dance.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, let's go get a head.
okay. You think he's going to be all right, the doctor? He has no idea what he's doing. Or? The doctor has no idea what he's doing.
In there?
Yes.
Yeah. Just keep walking.
It's fine.
I could care less about that guy at the moment.
It's not like he could stop you.
You know, there's at some point, you have to compartmentalize problems, and you got to put them into little boxes, and
then just tuck them away.
and then talk about. And right now, I've opened a box, and in that box, I will place a head, and that will close another box,
Oh my god.
and then I will get to the doctor box. I say this as I'm walking down with an axe.
Yeah, as you continue to walk down, it's just you and Pierre leaving the rest. Is anyone else going with him to help convince this, or?
I think we can handle this. You
Yeah,
guys wanna-
I don't think that I need to
So-
tag
so-
along for that one.
Okay, so it's just like as the door closed, you just hear Bunsen, that which you haven't heard anything, just go, ah! You know?
I wish I had dominate, but I don't. I have presence. So
No presence can change a person's take on a thing.
yeah, but not really. Not at my level.
What do you have? Awe?
Yeah.
I mean, it could work. You could do a little
You
something.
could calm him down.
We could just kill him.
I mean, well, yeah, very, very real option. I mean, it's going to be interesting one way or another.
Nobody in this room would mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we'll pick up with Alister walking towards
Okay.
some more of the, plebs, if you were, people on the cart. There's probably around 40 in entirety, not including the front of the staff that runs the engine and the, and the construction workers in the back, the rail workers in the back. So about, that's a little bit high. I'd say about 35 people, all in all. Many that you have not met yet, that are going to the West for their own reasons. Mm-hmm. Yep. But you can see that, there's looky-loos looking in to see what this has happened. Mm-hmm. You pick up small pieces of tidbits of conversation of oh no, we're not safe.
Right.
I was worried about attack from the outside. Do you think the natives will attack now? Is this part of the natives?
Are you going to decapitate the corpse in front of everybody?
Well, I'm gonna try and clear the room. I'm gonna walk in and be like, ladies, gentlemen, thank you for your concern. We are going to ask that everyone leave this room so that we might take care of this body in the proper way, and we can continue on with this trip as pleasantly as possible. The situation is being dealt with.
You get a tap on your shoulder. Take a second, you see back, it appears to be a billy club. Mm. And someone that you didn't pay for specifically, but you do know is Mr. Spitz. Mm. He'd be like your head of security, essentially, with all the rough around boys. Is that right, laddie?
If we could just draw the curtains, get everyone out of here, we can take care of this.
Oh, so you're going to take care of this exactly how? You can see that his boys are starting to kind of fill the room as well.
Why don't you let us worry about the ins and outs?
Roll a...
I've got manipulation, intimidation, charisma, persuasion.
Yeah, intimidation if you want to intimidate him out of the room. So why don't we do manipulation and intimidation?
Would Poof be able to give him help with that?
Yeah, it's not really Poof's style. He's more slinky. You know what I mean?
Stand back and watch.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Heavy lifting.
he ends up getting his way, not intimidating forward.
That is one success.
One success. Yeah. I'll tell you what. How about I leave a couple boys for you here, and if you want to do your business right here, then we can see that no one else bothers you. But I'm going to keep a couple men in here. We did have a murder, but trust me, it does not look good on my intake of the day.
Fair enough.
And go around and looking for subjects.
Are they thirsty?
Yeah. Yep. So he goes and he appears to be looking for clues to figure out what this could possibly be.
Okay.
Yep. He seems more tough than smart. Mm-hmm. He leaves two guys on, in the room itself.
I've met a lot of guys like that.
So who was all in the room?
So right now you have the real Lady of Orchid, the dead body of one of her handmaiden. You do have Squish. Squib, yeah, Squib. Squish would have been a good name too,
right,
though. Squib.
Throwing my family in.
Yeah, right, yeah. Second shout out of the day for Roger's family. Yeah, Squib. Chip has stayed there. He's kind of the matron of that room. So if you'd like to ask him to go, he probably wouldn't put that up too much of a fight. But, he also has information. Don't know if you need any information right now. But so just the two guys, one guy on each door. the actual Lady of Flowers, and Squib and Chip. Pierre is obviously in the room as well.
I'm going to go to Lady Orchid. And, my deepest condolences to what has happened in this room. The situation has been taken care of, but in order to keep this train on schedule,
We hit a cow. That's what happened. Yeah.
in order to keep this train on schedule and prevent further attacks on your life, I'm going to need to take the head of your body double.
Come again.
I need to remove the head from the body and deliver the head to the murderer.
All of that sounds horrible, and
It is. It's a nasty business.
Can't you just kill the killer?
No, it's a contract will be fulfilled. And if we were to dispose of the man who attempted to take your life, they will retaliate to destroy those that destroyed them. It's a very eye for an eye family of assassins. So, two options. We kill him, and then we get to town, and in a couple of months, we are all dead. There is no town. There is no you, there is no me, there is no legacy. Other option, he thinks you're dead. I've offered the head so that he may return to prove that he's completed the contract. All is well.
You just hear the sound of like a glass drop as Chip was standing there and goes, "Oh, let's you go just like cut off her head
Yes, Chip, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it
Right-
right. I'm going to do it
right
right here
here.
in front of you.
in my bars."
I am.
That's right.
It's a lot to process. Yes, it's already dead. to
Like,
be-
like an onion. You're just gonna cut right through it.
like splitting a log.
More of a solid.
Like he like looks down and sees the axe and goes, "You're fucking mental."
Yes, I'm a businessman.
You know what? I'm getting American Psycho vibes so hard right now with like
I'm now Christian Bale.
Yeah, right.
I have a little raincoat on.
Yeah, right. Harry and the
Yeah.
the backwards moonwalk in.
Huey Lewis and the news playing in the background.
You do hear Squib go, "You can't be serious, madam. I mean, like, this is completely Harry Spout. I mean, like, goes against so many
I swing
traditions."
the axe. I thought I do it.
You just on the head.
As he's saying that, I'm just gonna just.
He's like, look down, just the spray. You know what I mean? I guess the heart would be dead, so it's not the spray. It's just the glunk, 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 glunk.
Wrap it up in a
Just-
sheet. I wrap it up nice and respectfully.
It would just be a slow puddle
Yeah.
spreading.
Yeah,
And then I wrap it up real nice.
yeah.
know?
You look like an anger that probably won't be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't talk it out. You didn't get him to say
Mm.
one way or another. You know, like there's definitely
I just look at him like
the orchid may be strong enough to understand what's happening, but this
I
is
do look at
personal.
Squib and I'm like, you need to realize that there are things in this world that are beyond all of us, and know where your loyalties lie. Shake the head. It's not even her, man.
It's still somebody.
Right.
I've been look. I'm a,
Was.
I know.
Carry it neck stump up so it doesn't
and then I
drain all over
close
the
the
floor.
squib box, and I slide it, into the back of my head for later.
The far corner.
All right.
Give
And
him a
I
goodbye.
do look at Lady Orchid, and I'm like, this is the only way.
Does it smell delicious?
You could have given him more
Give it a
time.
little. Bye, Squib.
Yeah.
Just stick a hand in.
Yeah, one of those
Oh
guys.
my god.
Yeah, right.
Just don't blame yourself.
Yeah, right.
Clean your feet.
Yeah, right. As you're walking out the door, you
The
do
way.
like like
Terrible.
reach for the door to get past the guy, and you have a small. Well, why don't you give me a dexterity and athletics? You're rolling against 8s.
Whoa,
Shit.
something real's happening.
Would you like to use my cup? Things get stuck in there.
That's what she
3
said.
successes
Ooh,
on
3.
it. I got 2 9s and an. No, I got.
Yep.
Wait. 4 successes. It was 2 9s, a 10, and then an 8 after that.
Nice.
As you were walking with, the head trailing behind you, and the bloody axe as you go, the axe catches a corner that would have made you stumble and fall like dead face into this door. With your amazing reaction time, you're able to save it. You do hear squib. That's quite enough. We'll talk about this later.
I just leave the axe where it was.
No problem.
That was Pierre's axe, right?
What about
Yeah, Pierre goes no and picks back up his silvered axe. You know what I mean?
And then
any movement or word from the security boys? There?
No, they know that this train is weird. They're here to get the train on time. That's what they're here for. So I mean, like they're not.
then I did say, and I was like, the only way to keep this train going.
Yeah,
is-
this would not be a hunter. This would be a mechanic I'm using in this game. That's kind of my own. It's called Grit. They will they're stauncher than a normal person, but they're not. You know what I mean?
very amoral vibes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're people that you would use as henchmen, and you know what I mean. Like they got a little extra oomph in them. Not exactly Gould, but
Like the mini boss in Arkham Asylum.
hunters.
Like not
Yeah.
Bane, but
Like,
like
they-
he's a big guy.
yeah, right. Yeah, they couldn't hold a candle to Pierre. You know what I mean? But it would be,
Yeah. And I think sometime later, as you guys see that Alister walks in with a towel with a red bloom at the bottom, about the size of a human head.
as you walk in, you do see Travel just like he has like a full hand into the werewolf's mouth, and he like with a little shining light, he goes, "What is all of this? Does it hurt?" And you just like she's like spatting at him, trying not to injure this thing. You've had this been going on for like he's cut a little bit of hair off of her, and she's like.
Okay,
You don't wanna-
Squib, honestly, I'm starting to get offended here.
Yeah.
Can you not do that? Yeah.
Ma'am, after all this is finished,
No.
we'll go have a couple of drinks together, all right? I'm buying.
I'm fine.
Like she's like curled up and too small. Because I mean, she's not moral, but she has, she's not just gonna kill a human out of spite or anger. You know
Right.
what I mean? And she was caught, so
I walk up to the Assamite. And, one last question. What is your name?
flowers have petals. I'm just one.
And before you were that, who were you?
I worked in a noble house in China. I was a protector of royal family. I was very good at my job. So they wanted to make sure that I could always perform a task for them. They gave me my youth. They gave me my vigor.
Well, on the off chance we meet again, which I really hope never happens.
You see him like do rub the scar. You know what I mean? Like that isn't. It will heal, but it will leave an actual physical scar on him for the rest of his life.
In that unlikely event, so that I know it's you, how do I refer to you? You can give yourself a name right now if you want. I just need to know.
The gardener. I pluck flowers.
Yeah. And I hedge gardens.
Yeah. And you hedge gardens.
Call me Mr. Hedge.
Keep a little off the top.
Yeah,
for you.
right. Yeah, snip, snip.
That's for you.
He looks at it. See, like he takes like his whole hand, and like he's been hurt, so he actually does take a like not with his hand. He takes a bite out of the bottom of the neck. It is her. Luck magic is very rare.
Sorry, did you say luck magic?
Yes. Why do you think I'm here to kill her?
Well, you succeeded.
succeeded, but as good as arrangements as I think they can be made in this time.
Well, we'll both take our licks.
He wasn't talking to you.
Yeah. She's still.
Calm down.
Yeah, you see the open mouth yawn of like travel going. Why is our head off? This is like what are we going to feed it to werewolf or?
This is the way.
This is the way.
And how do you all know werewolf? And he's like bundling this up. He has a traveler bag, one of those has the flaps on it. It appears to be like a shellacked, very thick leather. So probably not going to
Doc,
bleed out too much.
you may want to refrain from questions.
He's like, this is literally what I do. I mean,
I
I'm a
understand.
scientist. And,
I understand, but
and there's
you don't fully understand the predicament that you are in currently. So please stop the questions. And I just stared
down.
right into his
Yeah,
heart.
no problem. He's not. He's a wannabe hunter. He very far wannabe. He's easily cut out. You know what I mean? In fact, he doesn't have as much spine even as your rough around boys. So he's intelligent. He's just not new to the world.
Well, I wish you the best on your travel back.
Do you want me to leave through the cattle car?
Probably be easiest. I don't think this train is slowing down anytime soon.
He
But you knew that.
the fall won't kill me. He kind of steps up, making sure that nothing bad is going to happen. You know what I mean? He just kind of gets to the door and reaches down and unlocks it. Very deftly. The door slows his behind you. Behind him.
Well, that sucked.
Yeah, right.
That's an Assamite, everyone, in case you were wondering.
What's luck magic?
Do I know?
And yep, we're gonna bring it right back up on that question because that's a wonderful place to start our next second part of the episode. We'll be back in 10 minutes, guys.
Ta-da.
Very cool. So many different.
but a sandwich is separated and stacked. And then I ask you, what the fuck is a hoagie then? All right. You ever go to Subway? Do they cut the bread all the way?
No.
Is it a sandwich?
Yeah.
Well, it's just, what the
I
fuck?
would say if you agree that if a taco is also a sandwich, then a hot dog is also
A taco is a sandwich.
I mean, this is very important debates that we're having here. But welcome back.
No.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Welcome on back to Vampires and
Oh, I
Vitae.
want tacos now.
Yeah.
I think I know what I'm doing for dinner.
Yeah, they got a really awesome street corn thing there too.
A hot dog taco. Wow. A kielbasa taco?
We were discussing a restaurant that would really like to have as a sponsor here.
Yeah, right.
This episode
What,
brought to you
Stevie
by
Wonder?
the Tater Hut or whatever.
Mr. Tater's Tater
Tater?
Shack.
Yeah, Mr.
Oh my
Tater's Tater
God.
Shack.
It is good.
If we had baked potatoes before every episode, I'd be the happiest person.
You'd be asleep.
That
right?
too. That's why I would be so
I
happy.
think we'd all be the heaviest people.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, I'm working on it.
All right. The door closes quietly behind your Assamite friend, and the question has been posed: what is luck magic? You do know cursory. What explained to you, Alister, what she described. You know what I mean? What she does. And I think that you know of spheres in general.
I have a broad idea.
I would say that Rusty, you know where you're from. It's more of a
One more time.
all right.
One more time.
Say that again.
Rusty, you know of where you're from. They call it the ways. It's more of like the native people and some of the strange things that they do out there for reasons for others. We got like a
Yeah, I'm working on it.
okay.
I'm working on it.
So you know that it's like the ways. You've seen medicine men do different things. You've seen things that you can't explain. In your travels, you've Barnaby, you've seen things you can't explain. You know, people doing things that seem to defy this. But you're in a brand new world. You know what I mean? Like you really haven't been trained up correctly when it comes to having a sire. So that's probably the most that you've seen is things that don't seem to fit. So that's probably the information that all you individually have.
Well, I'm not super familiar with luck magic, but I am aware that there are mortals in this world that are born with innate, unhoned abilities to manipulate the world around them. And these abilities are then trained and honed into very powerful people that can disrupt space and time and reality in some cases.
You see the doctor like quietly taking every single note possible, like in the corner.
They are exceedingly rare, even historically. They've always been a rarity among rarities. Beyond that, I'm unsure. I've never had the pleasure to really interact with anyone from that side of the supernatural. The Camarilla doesn't even really entertain them. Not sure why. They're powerful beings.
You do see Pierre go, there's quite a few different kinds. For example, I can do small things, but I am not a magician. I can ask for power, but it always comes at cost. These people have it innately. It is within their blood.
So, similar to our families, we come from different clans of kindred society. They honed the same raw ability, but it manifests in different ways. In the ways that I can't do what you do and you can't do what I do. But again, they are mystery.
So what? So just goes around the world innately spreading magic.
I am unaware of the customs, the traditions and the ideologies
Well,
of.
she's not doing it anymore.
Well, here's the thing, gentlemen, and I didn't say anything. What I'm gonna cast.
The wrong mother of flowers died.
You feel confident
Yeah.
that you heard that, like the thump,
Yeah.
thump, thump, like he jumped off.
You just see him rolling out.
Yeah. The dust cloud that comes off to the right hand of the side of the train.
The mother of flowers is alive. The head that I gave the Assamite was a body double who apparently also had not only the same physicalities but the same abilities as, although I'm sure not to the same extent as the mother of flowers. So she is indeed lucky.
Do we know what the motivation is behind the Assamite trying to target the mother of flowers?
It's hard to tell. I'm sure he himself. The thing about those contracts is that you're given a target. You know, I'm sure he knew who the mother of flowers is beyond what we know, but they're not one to dive into the moral implications of assassination. So there is a thread to be pulled, but I would rather just not deal with his curiosities on us. If I pull too hard, he pulls back, and then we're all dead. So maybe she knows. You could ask her. She's alive.
That might be. Well, that's our next best lead.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
If anyone knows why they're being assassinated, it's usually the person who just narrowly avoided assassination because they have a body double and they're aware that they will, in fact, be attempted assassination attempts on them. So,
And willingly gave the head up.
well,
Pierre echoes that with you.
well,
Yeah.
willingly is not quite accurate. It was more of I explained with authority that there was nothing else to do besides taking the head. And then, rather than having a back and forth, I took it upon myself to expedite the process.
We
Just
didn't
went
have a
ahead
whole
for
lot
it.
of choice.
Yeah. We definitely
I
didn't.
see what you did there.
Yeah.
The choice was made. I wasn't going to dilly-dally with the possibility of the Assamite second-guessing.
Yeah. Things had to be done.
Yes.
Well,
But, like I said, luckily, she's alive. So that's who I would talk to. The doctor situation, let's point over.
yeah.
But-
However,
I'm just sitting here. I think I start petting the puppy, so it is.
Barnaby just grabs his knife and gun and just pulls it all out. And he's like, I can take care of this.
Barnaby, I absolutely respect your gung-ho attitude. That is not the life you owe me.
That would have been a very sneaky way to get out of your boon. You know what I mean? It would have worked. It actually would have worked. Yeah.
Okay, hey, how's this? Not to travel.
Yes. What?
I'm going to make a deal with you.
Uh,
And I'm really sick of deals. So this is the last deal I'm going to make tonight, hopefully. I'm going to allow you access to my private collection of books on the occult, the anthology of these things, so long as you keep your goddamn mouth shut.
He would not speak a word. Don't worry. He goes over and is going to immediately tick you up on his bargain. Of course, you probably now have a new roommate.
Whatever.
I look at the wolf. Man, would you like to go get those drinks now? I'll meet you up in the dining car.
Barnaby, you can share the couch.
Yeah, right.
Because I don't know if she wants to transform
Yeah, she
back
will.
in front of everybody.
Yeah, and it
or-
will be it's actually quite painful. You know what I mean? Like you can hear the bones reforming
Yeah,
underneath the
great.
skin. You know, like you can see it almost puncturing the skin
Yeah, that's
itself.
why
as
I
it-
didn't know if she wanted to do that and reveal herself.
But she's doing it.
everyone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you do hear the book fall on the ground that that Dr. Travel was working on at that moment.
I
And
whisper, "Hey, Doc, don't stare."
she big old toothy smile, and he goes, "Ugh," you know.
Barnaby, if you would rather not share the room with the doctor, There is room for a sixth in my car if you need a place.
Yeah, I might take you up on that.
Well, 3 dudes versus 5 women.
Yeah.
Mr. Hayward, I can take care of this guy really quickly if you'd like. I'm
Again,
starting to enjoy my seat on the couch.
I don't know. He interests me. I don't. For some reason.
He's very diligently.
Well, a pet project. I love those.
Look at him. Look.
Yeah, he may be
here's the thing.
useful.
Here's the thing. I lost an assistant, and maybe. John,
Maybe you need a new one?
Maybe I need.
Yeah, he's very just fascinated. He's like a rich kid,
Mr.
like-
Barnaby, did you have something to do with his assistant that he lost?
Oh no, this is way before.
Oh, okay.
Not that I know of.
You seem a little eager.
You see, like, flash to poor Jeeves. He's just heartbroken. Like, he's just
Dusting.
dusty in a, like, empty house and just going from just. Return.
He will
Waiting for the train to come back.
All right. He goes over some of your notes, and, like, he's still keeping the books going as well as he can, I mean, that's one of the reasons you had him, is he was so good at finance and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
He's my ghost account.
yeah, pretty much keeping the
Got a pile of
the
Keeping the real
charade.
I got a pile of drafts of letters that I had written,
Yeah.
weekly.
sending out.
Yeah,
you know.
they get sent out once in a while.
There you go. I think probably the first one. No, with enough time. The first one has returned. He hasn't opened it. You know what I mean? Like, because you see one out pile, one
Yeah,
in
right.
pile starting to grow.
All right. Well, I'll take care of this guy. If you want to figure out what the Lady of Flowers is up to, might be.
I can go talk to her.
Of
I
good
mean,
interest.
we understand the importance of a body double once in a while, so.
And most importantly, the train is on time, so that's cool.
You'd maintain that.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Mr. Hayworth, a word if you don't mind.
Yes, please. I let everyone in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the party car.
All right. You do see.
Had it been anyone
Shelf.
else, I would have freaked out. Thank God it is you.
Yeah, all right. That was a little bit of a problem.
I just, my glass shatters in my hand. Just
Oh.
whiskey everywhere.
I assume that the ruckus had something to do with this blood-covered room, not just the murder.
Astute.
Yes.
And has the perpetrator been dealt with?
Absolutely.
Dealt with and expedited.
Well, that is some good news, I say. That's some good news. But, he was a busy little beaver. He got rid of some of our coal before he decided to attack everything. And that's not just regular coal. Now, we're going to make it. We're just going to be running a little bit late. Can't go completely at full steam. If you carry me. Now, being a couple hours late, that's not a big deal for anyone but 2 of us in this particular train.
Interesting. And you're saying this is coal that...
It's quite specialized. I can create more, but I'm going to need quite a lot of wood to refill our stores.
And no more stops, right?
And no more stops.
No more stops.
more stuff.
Yeah. Now, I know a place where lumber is, but getting it away from them is going to be quite a predicament.
Well, maybe with a little persuasion and a little luck, we can get this sorted out.
Well, I hope your mind's where I'm thinking, too. I mean, it's quite a little bit of lumber to make new rails.
Does, but how many rails do you need in the last stop?
Well, I think they're trying to get all the way to California. I mean, that is the end goal for these guys.
I don't care for the ocean much anyways.
I found it overrated.
Just letting you know. I mean, we could also talk about getting that book, and it don't matter at all.
There's a book.
Yeah.
a better book than this.
Yeah, you have several. So
In the interest of transparency, Barnaby, you remember when you woke up and had an episode?
Yes.
I
Well,
remember that.
Vaguely.
in order to prevent a total catastrophe on the train of you going completely feral, I needed to borrow somebody for you to feed on, which you did. You did. The cost of which was not money, but it was. You're aware that this train is strange, correct?
Yeah.
Well, it runs on time, and I don't mean that figuratively. I mean, you're aware what I was telling you about this different users of magic and the mortals that do strange things. There's a man who conducts this train who specializes in time. I needed to put my name in a ledger to give him some time so that I could avoid that situation. If the train is late, this affects me very badly, apparently. I'm not sure how badly. I've been worried to ask, but Mr. Shove here has assured me that a couple hours is a very big deal.
I'm only 12 years old. No, I'm just joking. Time spent. I would want to be subject to a deal that you made with your own free will.
Which leads us with two more possibilities. Time to open the box. Option one is that we get the train in on time, and then we have a decent amount of time because he has to restock and everything. We've got enough time to try and get rid of this ledger, and Mr. Shove here, who is actually an indentured servant of sorts to the conductor, I've promised him I would get him out of that for personal reasons. Ideally getting myself out of there as well. We were planning on doing that when we got there, but if we're running late, we might not have an option but to take the book. But that could lead to some serious implications.
yeah, what
because,
happens if you just burn the book?
Well, the conductor's probably not going to take us anywhere. And as good as Shove is, I don't think he can run this train.
He does some things even my people can't do. Interesting person to be forced to serve.
Safe to say we need the conductor to get us.
Both the conductor and the ledger, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Well, you can get rid of both.
Well, I could give a damn less once we get there if I take the ledger. I mean, at that point, he's shit out of luck.
Right.
But he has the option to just not take us there.
Well, you
Right.
know, Mr. Alister, it's about a couple of days' travel each way from the end of the line. There are some forests where more wood could be acquired to replace whatever was needed to remedy the situation.
That's a possibility. That would involve stopping the train to cut down the trees. I'd only need
Oh,
a
no,
few
no,
of
no.
them.
I'm saying we use the wood that's on the train, and then once we get there to replace that wood, they take a couple days, go cut some trees down and replace that wood.
Off of your acreage?
I don't have trees on my land. I'm saying it's a couple days travel up,
Right.
sort of to the northwest.
We facilitate more lumber for them, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
When we set them behind a little bit, but we still facilitate it.
It sounds like it'd be better to have the rail construction go behind than the train.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm in favor of that. Though now,
Build a small fire instead of starting a large one. I like it.
Strike is a honorable, little rough, but honorable leader for his. He'll be up for a deal.
I could definitely talk to him. See if we could strike up another goddamn deal. Okay.
He doesn't seem like a totally unreasonable man. I have met him.
Okay. Well,
You
that's
do
good.
get the flashback of him, like, punishing his men for getting into the fight.
I am going to need Mr. Shove for this because I think having him nearby is going to legitimize,
All need.
Otherwise, I'm just the rich asshole that wants to get there on time.
Right.
Actually, Barnaby, maybe something dawns on you. Give me an intelligence and investigation.
Investigate Barnaby.
I can't do it. 3.
One, two,
Yes.
three.
You remember?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because you were, you pretty much rode the cow through. You know what I mean. So you got to see the railroad workers and how beat up they were and what that looked like. It dawns on you that that's how the Assamite got on. That he was going to hide with his bruised face, like obviously it assassinated one of the men. So that does dawn on you. He was going to hide and just take pretty much the guy's position and wait. That's how he got on the train. That's how he kind of like avoided being detected because he was beat up as well during that big fight. So it was kind of like his way in, his camouflage, if you
He
will.
allowed himself to be beat
Yeah.
up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He instigated the fight, made sure it happened.
He took one
you know what I
point
mean?
of non-aggravated.
Yeah,
damage.
right.
Right. yeah.
Probably was hitting himself in the, like on a table or something to make it
He
happen.
punches him. He like goes down, puts on some stage makeup. Oh,
Yeah, right. Oh,
you
there it
cut
is.
me eye.
Bastard. Yeah, right. But he would, because everyone had like their face punched in, so he would have blended into this crowd. Just something to think about. Think about how the man that you saw punishing the other guys. Just information.
Barnaby's like, trust no one. Kills all of the railroad workers.
Yeah.
You're all
Barnaby's
Assamites.
a bit eager right now.
One of you is going to be able to take this bullet.
Okay.
Just starts blasting.
All right. So are we going to do it for different ways? Or we're all going to go to talk to Mr. Strike? Or somebody going
Well,
to go chat with?
I think that for as long as possible, Tyler should have those conversations
God
with
damn
Mr.
it.
Strike.
Okay. I will have another. Yes, I will. I will
You
take
would-
shove and I will go
Well,
talk to
you have the established
I-
relationship, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I also built my character for this.
Yeah.
So.
I'm taking this up to the dining car for
All
drinks.
right, no problem. Jeez. Quite bouncy in her step. She got to wolf out and kind of stretch her. It is painful, but it feels good for a werewolf to to
Hulk
wolf.
out.
Yeah, it's like always like a constant, like a rubber band that's always a little
Oh,
bit tight.
it's her. Whoa.
Yeah, right. Big smile.
She was inside me.
Yeah,
Yeah, still is probably.
I think you puked it up, right?
I did. I
Yeah.
did.
All right.
Man, would you like a butterscotch?
Yeah, right. That's great.
Sweet
so
fish.
So I know where you're headed, and I know where you're headed. Where are the two of you headed?
I am.
Slumber party.
Yeah, I'm kind of flirting with the idea of doing like the Care Bears portion of the episode where we do the light and funny thing, but I'm also very intrigued by what the Mother of Flowers would have to say about.
That's fair. I feel like you have
What she's up
a
to.
good rapport with the Mother Flowers.
Yeah.
You could definitely probably get some good information.
Yeah.
Having body doubles yourself and kind of, I feel like you can tap into a side of her life that even Alister can't.
Yeah.
You know.
Does Shove know what Mother of Flowers is?
No, I mean he has his own thing going on, but he wouldn't.
He's
not in
only
the
12. How he
Yeah,
can't.
right, yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's just a kid.
Yeah, just
Looks
for
like he's 60.
a little bit of inside baseball, his powers aren't derived from the spheres. He gets his powers differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Seemed.
Yeah, more of a voodooistic
Yeah.
kind of.
I just didn't know because he kind of runs the train.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like he gets his power from the same amalgamation.
Yeah.
And it's honed in a way
Different way.
outside of the original spheres.
Yeah.
You know?
Like they wouldn't be able to do what he does, and he can't do what they
Yeah.
do. That's why him and the conductor make such a good team.
Yeah, because from what I've been writing down is Shove is very good at protective barriers.
Yeah.
Is kind of
Keeps it all together.
Yeah, so which is good. Could be good to have a good guy. But yeah, on that note, I guess I will go talk to Spike. Spittle?
Strike.
Strike. Close enough.
Right there.
You come in, Dave. Thankfully, with all the noise of the ruckusness. Oh, sorry. In which direction you were going as well?
So I think I'd want to join Alister just because I feel responsible.
Okay, no problem.
That's fair.
Yep. So you shove, and Alister will walk in that direction.
And Rusty went off with
Yep.
With Thistle.
cool.
Thistle will start there and then
Yeah,
rebound
do your
around.
thing.
All right, and you're going up to the same car because that would be where the body is, and that would be where the.
So Rose, Rusty, and Thistle are going to the dining car, and then Barnaby, Alister are going to straight.
And you have Pierre just hanging out with the doc in your room.
Wait, so there's monsters.
So yeah, right. He's laughing at the books he's taking out and like to himself, just chuckling about what's wrong and what's right in those books. And there's obviously a huge amount of knowledge in that man's head. All right, you walk into the room. You see just poor Chip is like on the ground, like scrubbing, like trying to get this huge amount of blood out of there.
You're gonna have to sand the.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
the
it's
wood.
definitely going to stain.
Well, I thought it was just an axe cut in one of the floorboards.
Flat straight down.
Oh dear.
Mr. Chip, if you wouldn't mind, we'd like a couple of drinks.
All right. I mean, like, I think I'm gonna have to have one for myself as well. And he kind of like gets up off. You can see he's a little shaken. He's like, so, did you guys always cut all people's heads off, or it's just kind of just a thing?
This was kind of a unique situation.
Uniques. Have you seen my floor? I'm never gonna get this ship out. And it's not funny because that's my name.
It's a little funny. You got to admit, it's a little funny.
I can see the double entendres, but I mean, that's, it's just, I don't even know how to clean this kind of shit, and I can get most things out of most things.
Ammonia would help with that, too. It also is going to help with the smell.
How the hell am I going to moan at nothings? It's going to stay right there.
Could we have a drink?
Nope. Yeah. He kind of gets up and start pouring. His hands are still shaking, it's like ting, 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 ting.
You never
Puts
seen a
it down.
decapitated body before, Jesus?
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I thought the deaths were the hard parts, and that's, got a lot worse, which I didn't think would be, a lot worse.
You haven't seen everything yet.
The two drinks do fall down. You do walk up and you see Lady Flowers, and she's now knowing that that's her. Just kind of, she's got that rag that she was originally wiping the blood off, and she just kind of continuously got a little bit of a nerve tick at this moment from everything that has transpired.
Do you mind if I join you?
Oh, it's fine. I mean, sure, unless you're going to try to kill me as well.
Not today. But as a woman who also understands the value of having a body double, I thought that we were owed a conversation to each other.
Oh, you're Felipa. I could
Yes.
see how people could mistake the two of you.
Now, by my very nature, it is important for me to have someone who someone could mistake for me to be walking around during the day.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about you. I
But-
figured from Mr. Alister that he was a creature of the night.
Yes.
So you are as well.
But what confuses me is you have no such problem, no such issue. So why the body double?
Well, because people aren't exactly thrilled that I left them. I was being held a little bit like a pretty bird in a cage.
Well, we can all understand that as well.
Having abilities like mine, they can be siphoned for other people's uses. And I want to make something new.
Again, incredible parallels. But how would one siphon your power?
You do realize I can make bad things happen to you, right?
Yes, of course. I'm not asking because I would ever. I'm simply curious. You're the first person of luck that I've met. And with this curious mind of mine, I simply must know.
He looks over at, she looks over right over to Rusty having the conversation with Thistle. And you can see that she was about to miss the table with her glass, and she kind of closes his eyes for a second, and the way that the train moves, her arm rests naturally back onto that table. I can do things simple as that. I can make it more likely or less likely something's going to happen. Or if I concentrate deeply, I can make an area infused with, let's call it, prosperity.
So, are you coming to the last stop of the West to infuse prosperity or to make things difficult?
Well, that depends on how I like my neighbors. But the intention was to be far away from people that have been abusing people of my kind for quite a long time.
The same.
Or to start something new and maybe big enough that once it's built, and they find out where I am eventually, because they will find out, that maybe there's enough in between me and them to make my own way in this world.
Okay, so you're coming for good reasons.
Well, yes.
I'm just making sure because this is also a restart.
Yes.
Us that you've met recently.
But lucky enough for me, I don't need much to start. It
Yes.
kind of just falls in place, if you will.
Yes, well, not all of us have that sort of luck. But like how does this work? Do you just show up and snap your fingers, will it into existence?
Oh, I have a
How does it
general presence around me that can alter small things, depending upon my mood. But no, if I want to infuse the land itself, it will take quite a while.
So to dumb it down, you have an angel of luck sitting on your shoulder.
Yes, and with the right provocation and the correct spells and the right sacrifices and many things, it will take me to create a work of the levels that I want to create in this new town. It'll take me quite a while.
I'm just hung up on the word sacrifice.
Oh, luck doesn't come for free. Good luck has to exist one place, and therefore bad luck needs to happen someplace else.
So in order to make where we're headed a place of prosperity, as you put it, you have to find something else to take prosperity away from?
Ish. You're on the right track. I can sit down and...
How precise can you be?
Well, give me an example. What would you like? What would you intend?
Like if I was to give you an address for a certain place of rest, could you...
I would have to visit it at least first.
Oh.
I couldn't.
Have you ever been to London?
You ever been to the Britsfield Cemetery?
Right? Yeah.
There are some of my kind that can astral project and help guide individuals to through the veil, if you will.
Right.
I mean, if you found an individual that has those particular, I do not. And if you found one that can, I could view it remotely. It would be dangerous.
Well, I just, you know, as you've said, there were people who were using other people, and if anyone is deserving of less luck, it's that type of people.
Oh, I would love to course the people that hurt me and give them, but they have wards up, people that can fight against what I do. So
I am almost positive that the people I have in mind don't have such wards.
well, that would be, I mean, just possible, but you would need to find somebody that can project or allow me to visit that area without, seeing it in the
Right.
flesh.
But you have been to New York. Or were you just passing through?
Passing through.
Okay. Understand. Let me just sit with that for a minute, because I might have some juicy targets for you.
Well, we can always have a conversation later.
Yes, of course. But again, I do want to extend my sympathies to your loss. Good help is so hard to find.
No, she was more than help. She was my student.
Yes, and she was a person who helped you survive. And if there's anything that I can do to help with that, please let me know.
She knew her purpose was to die, if need be. There was no illusion of that going in it for her.
Well, as long as we understand the going into it, then I suppose all is well.
She nods. Thistle goes, so I'm a wolf.
I noticed.
Yep. Gar.
I'm not a wolf.
I noticed. It's almost too bad because I swear there's something about that beard.
Well,
Don't worry, I stick to my own kinds.
I wanted to extend a business proposition to you.
Surely, what kind of business? I'm already helping you kill, Assamites or something like that.
I'd ask on me.
Yeah, he sure was, especially when I had him. He puckered up real quick like, shit.
I'm sure. No, actually, this is.
I could have squeezed him and his ass would have made a whistle. I swear to God, from what?
Got a copper pipe with that butt.
Yeah, right. Blew him up like a balloon if I just turned him around and had a whole heyday.
So, first, I wanted to ask you.
I said, yeah.
Why are you headed out west?
Well, I've already discussed my bow. I mean,
Is he already out there?
yeah, he's trouncing around. Considering y'all ain't dead, I guess you can put together ain't exactly like the normal wolfy types.
All right. So,
They don't like us much, honestly.
I also noticed that you're very good with the skinning
Yeah.
and work like that, and that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. I was offered a business deal for tanning,
Well, no shit.
for starting a tanning business out here, and then shipping it to other places. And I had already seen your wares, and
You can put baby oil on me, honey. I am a tanner.
you were the first thing that came to my mind. So I made this gentleman an offer, and I told him that I would get back to him because I didn't want to be presumptuous and extend an offer that you hadn't agreed to as well. But you see, I've got the cattle and everything. I'm planning on expanding that once we get there.
Yeah, sorry about that one in the back, by the way. I was just swinging like some.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a special situation. I am not upset about that. And I really appreciate your
Well, our people don't kill unnecessarily, and that thing was
I
pretty.
don't either.
Yeah. Well, then, I got a trade, and the other wolves not liking us is more than an inconvenience for me and my bow. So having some good, honest work and trade, all up and above the board. You know, I don't know about that, Mr. Hayworth. And she kind of rubs her neck for a second, and like that
Rest.
seems that right. Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of brokerage in his existence, but I could do some honest work
Yeah,
as long as it's honest.
I've been living out there for over 130 years.
Shit, you know all the trap lanes then, don't you?
I grew up there, spent almost 50 years there in my mortal life. So I'm very familiar with the land. I'm familiar with the
That's two different things.
not the way I see it. They are locals. They're natives, but they're locals.
So you got at least working relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I grew up on a farm that's about 30, 40 miles northeast of Stops. But I sold that land, and I bought some more land that's a little near. It's in the valley where the rail stops, but it's right by the river. So very fertile land. I'm planning on growing some crops and having my cattle out there and expanding that. So the gentleman that I'm working with down in Amarillo, very wealthy, very powerful man. That's who I've been dealing with. That's who wants to know about the tanning. He's trying to get away from the been dealing with internationally. He wants to deal with local stuff.
Something direct.
Yes, exactly. Eliminate the middleman.
All right. Well, shit. I mean, you said you got quite a few acres, huh? If you don't mind me and Bo setting up ourselves a little homestead on a piece of your land, small piece, not big piece.
Not at all.
I could see that. You know, you give me a home, I can give you a trade.
Also, some of those natives, the locals, your special abilities? Because some of them also have similar abilities.
Oh, they walk around in skins.
Yes, they do.
They're. It would be an interesting moment, and they'll wonder why I'm not with the pack. But I mean, a skinwalker and a werewolf, we are cousins of some sorts.
That's what I've heard. I've been friends with them for many years. I've seen several generations.
Different mentality, but at the end of the day, it kind of boils down decently nice. So that'll be every tribe's different, though. And I know that Bo's been dealing with them for a long time, but I had something to do in New York City, and personal matters.
That's none of my business.
Well, she goes, I was like, we'll talk about that later. For the time being, let's enjoy a good fight, some fire with whiskey, and let's annoy the hell out of Chip as much as we can. I'll say you.
We can definitely do that. But know that when we get there, you will have a parcel of land on mine.
Hand comes out. You can feel a little bit of the claws, unkept nails in the human form, but there's definitely a grit and an understanding. We'll leave you guys right there. All right, Barnaby and Alister, you're walking with Chev.
Excellent. Let me just check something real quick. Just make sure in case I need this.
7 rouse checks.
God, right?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
All right. So we walk in, and
What's your walk-in order? You want to send Chev in first? You're first? You want Barnaby?
I think it'll probably be Alister, Shove, and then Barnaby.
Barnaby picking up. All right. You walk in. You get that again full head snap. As soon as you walk in, they were kind of in the middle of the meal. In fact, just something that you pick up, Barnaby, is like almost in unison, all the chopsticks you hear clinking like on top of a bowl. Obviously, the punishment's been dealt out. It's been addressed. Now it's back to work.
I was hoping to talk to Mr. Strike.
You hear like a water barrel in the back, and he's like washing himself off at this point. He's, a nice stark white towel. He's very clean, put together. Yes.
Do you have a moment?
Can I speak to you? Yes.
First of all, I would like to say that from what I've seen, you are a man who runs a very tight ship. Things get done the way they need to get done, when they need to get done. Correct?
It is how my father has taught me. This is how I want to teach my men.
So you can understand the importance of being on schedule.
Yes.
Okay. We have an issue. As I'm sure you've heard with the problems that we had in the dining cart area.
I have heard it. And I also heard some gunshots.
Well, there was an attempt to derail the train, as I'm sure you are aware. Have you ever made this trip, Mr. Shrike?
This would be the first time that we were procured.
Okay.
The last crew did not make it. So.
Yes. So you are at least aware of how infinitely dangerous the place between here and the last stop is.
Yes. This is why the pay was for once fair.
Well, the good news is that we successfully stopped the train from derailing and took care of the problem. There was somebody who maybe he worked for a different railroad or something. I don't know, but suffice it to say, they wanted this train off the tracks, as you have seen has happened a half dozen times.
Give me a manipulation and subterfuge, because that is not the truth.
The truth according to Alister.
You're only looking for 2 successes. It wasn't that huge of a lie.
I got 1 success, but I will burn 1 willpower.
Okay. There's he kind of narrows his eyes and goes, well, there's many people who do not want this railroad to succeed first to the west. It makes sense why the sabotage would be. So I can see.
So what they had planned on doing is using the death as a distraction to empty all of the coal out of our coal room.
So you're telling me that we are not going to make it to...
Well, we stopped him, but not before he could get rid of enough coal that we're not going to make it all the way home as of right now. So there are two options that we've come up with. Mr. Shove and I, we have discussed.
It's a big old hand around you, Barnaby.
Mr. Shove is under the impression.
It's a strong grip.
Mr. Shove is under the impression that we have two options. One is that the train has to stop, and we have to get wood from the surrounding forests. This is very dangerous, and I think you know whose workforce is going to be in charge of, facilitating this.
It would be a problem to stop the train, I have been told. Dangerous just by the surrounding individuals and wildlife.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, Mr. Shove offered a solution to this problem. He believes that if we use your lumber, we will be able to burn enough wood to actually get to the last stop. Now, I'm aware this puts a wrench in your gears when you get there because you need lumber to build this railroad. So I would like to make you a deal of giving you twice as much lumber as we use. For your cooperation.
Yeah.
Now, it'll take some time, but hopefully we don't burn through all of your lumber, and if we do, again, we will compensate you for the wasted time. But if the train is to stop, you very well likely could lose your entire workforce, which I believe is worse than losing a little bit of lumber.
He looks over at you, Barnaby. I do not like the smell of the rough and tumble gentlemen on this train. They seem to be lazy, and they will be protecting us, supposedly, when we begin our work. Could you extend? You seem to be quite fit and very strong, and as if you know how to use those sidearms. Would you be willing to help with security for the time before, after the shipment of more lumber? And we can call that extra wood, extra protection. Would this be acceptable?
I'll tell you what, he's indisposed for the afternoons, but his evenings.
Makes good sense to work at night. It is desert.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I could spare a couple of evenings to make sure that you know.
Stop pimping me out.
Yeah, he's asking you. You know what I mean? Like,
I just kind of look at him. I know why Alister's answering for me. I said, "You have my gun, sir."
And then maybe we'll be A-okay.
the boon.
Yeah.
Finish the boon,
Yeah.
as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just nod at you like, yeah.
But again, it is ultimately your crew. It is your lumber. It is your decision. But
I can cut in small pieces. I will. If this is the deal that we are looking to create with one another, yes, I believe that this will work for the time being. Chef goes, "Oh, that's fantastic. What we're going to need is these things cut up nice and small like, and just simply give it to my men. We'll turn it into the proper fuel that we need to make it all happen."
coming at you with some smooth
jazz. Mr. Hayworth.
If that works for you, Mr. Shove.
It does. If I think that these guys are more apt and filled with the equipment that I need for them to chop down the beams we'll need. we'll just have my boys ferry it back and forth. And maybe a little bit of intrusion, considering we're pulling materials from the back of the train to the front.
It is what it is, so long as we get there. For me, on time.
Yeah.
He thinks that we're just not
not
gonna
gonna make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a lie that got slipped underneath.
I like the way you did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you like
it
that?
just got slipped underneath the rug. So, but you already passed your first check, so there's no reason to continuously check.
I was-
unless it was like a huge lie,
Yeah.
then I'd be like,
I'm basically just being like, was relying on the fact that it's so dangerous to stop the train,
sure,
you know, and we don't have enough coal,
yeah,
which is true.
yeah.
Yeah.
You hear in Chinese, instructing the men. They all stand up almost as one and start. They're going to work in that train. And you can see them ripping off the big pieces of lumber that would be going in between. Thankfully, it's not like long telephone poles because they have at least,
Yeah.
so
Well,
that work begins.
Mr. Shaw, if I could leave the logistics to you.
No, I'll take it on from here. I believe that me and Mr. Strike here have a few things in common. We'll work out the details.
Beautiful. All right. Gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your evening. Barnaby, we're good.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yep. Where's everyone headed? You know that you have Rose's girls in her room.
I need a drink.
They're in the dining cart. You can grab a bottle as you're walking through.
Yeah.
Slowly but
I hit it with my
surely.
cane.
Yeah, right. Slowly but
Grab a
surely.
bottle as you go through roses.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah, right. She's got.
She is willing to part with those bottles.
Yeah, right. There's definitely.
I guess
something
we'll.
there if
Yeah,
you want.
I'd probably have us meet up at the dining cart, and I like a rose, and I give her like a. Hey, okay.
Well, it seems, Mother of Flowers, that your luck has shone on us once more.
What did I miss? I mean, she doesn't know what they were
I know.
attempting to do.
Just understand that all is right as rain.
The train will be arriving on schedule.
See?
That's good. Cost us all quite a lot, I think. But... Yeah, actually, here a couple cows, a boon.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you're the one who's getting out the most scot free with this one so far.
So
Yeah, right.
far. Yeah.
But
A book, you know what I mean? Everyone's kind of got some skin in the game.
there was like I just I told him the situation that there was a murder that was used as a distraction to dump most of the coal out of the train in an attempt to derail it, and that if we wanted to get there without stopping the train, we needed some lumber. And
Only
so,
an Assamite would use a murder to cover up stealing of coal.
I know.
Would have worked one way. I
Honestly.
mean, he had multiple plans. You know what I mean? He actually something you didn't find. If he had a thing of dynamite strapped to him, and he was going to ask for a light of a cigarette, and
Oh, good.
My study.
yeah, right. Yep.
Goodbye.
But it's all taken care of. We'll be arriving right when we need to. Mr. Chef will be taking care of the rest of the expenditures on that side of things. We do owe him twice the lumber we use, though.
Oh, dear. I hope they don't use much.
Well, there's trees. We'll find them.
Fair. About what time of the evening is it?
Getting close
Yeah, it's
to
getting-
pulling in. Yep, getting close to going to sleep. You're 1 day out. You'll have one more night and then arrive there. So
Okay.
Yeah, I think if everybody is safe, secured, and no more deals need to be struck, I would like to put this night behind me.
Yes. Also, when you don't forget, when you walk through my room, you will see the nun. She is there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not forget about her.
Barnaby, that's right. Enjoy the nun.
No. I changed my mind.
She seems
You've
to.
got your choice, the doctor
Boys
or the
night.
werewolf.
yeah.
She does seem to be a bit of a booze hound, Barnaby. So.
That's good. I can hold my less to share.
Oh, okay. All
point.
right then.
Got a
I mean,
point.
notoriously booze hounds do not share their booze.
Well,
No, we don't.
Yes, very true.
I will take my place back at my normal couch.
back on the couch.
So, You are a batty bat, yes?
You just
The
hear
nuns don't
Alister
do that.
closing his,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
his little private room, and just it shuts in. And just good night.
I mean, like, so
What?
it is true you're removed of genitalia when converted, yes?
What?
It says right here, it should fall off like a finger that is frostbitten.
Sir, can you read quietly?
Oh, no, it's as like speaking to Batty Bat. It is,
I pop my head out. That happens only to Nosferatu. Thank you.
so you are a Nosferatu? Okay, so this is, so what kind of Batty Bat are you?
Gangrel. Gangrel.
I'm a gangrel.
Oh, like, describe the life of Gangrel.
How to describe the life
Yeah.
of Barnaby Call.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Well, first I wake up, I get pretty drunk.
Yeah, right.
I talk
do
to
whatever I want.
I used to have my best friend was a rat, but now it's
Yeah,
a snake. It's just,
Rat was just kind of hanging out.
yeah, he was a cool dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I just go where the wind blows, man.
Oh, okay. So these spirits is it all with the gangrels or this is that just like wasn't no choice? So.
It's less of a bat and more of a jellyfish.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just
Got
wherever
little
the
tiny
current
wings
takes
growing
me.
out of his back.
Yeah.
So do you like nibble or like do you kill or do you?
Would you care to see?
I
Personally?
just ask more questions. So like he has a hack into the thing and like his his notes continue to continue.
It's been a day, sir. I'm gonna have a drink.
I said, "You've had that drink." Like, I've bet a werewolf. It was great, so fantastic, and enjoyed it so very much.
I didn't enjoy it as much.
Yes, can you turn in the gangrel? It's the genius of the wolf growl. Is it? Does it mean you like? Are you also like wolf?
I'd say a little more beastie.
Okay, it's good to know.
Can I go back to my drink now, sir?
Yes. Kind of fade out to you and This'll have a great time. Some more talking about. She actually gets into a conversation, really talking about just how she. I love that cup. Just she goes into when you. That's great.
You love that cup?
I do. You got a chaos is good chaos. You guys start into a conversation about tanning. You know what I mean? Like, and she's definitely proficient. Some techniques even that you haven't heard about. That kind of peters off, and sure that you guys are heading back to your own rooms unless you want to go someplace else.
No, it's getting to be daytime. I'm gonna.
Hunker
Retire.
on down. All right, Miss Rose, you are coming in, and the girls are like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Be like, I'll fucking explain tomorrow.
What do you mean tomorrow?
Yep. And
I heard gunshots.
ladies,
Put in
yes.
a hair and curler.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're attending. You know what I mean?
Yes, lady, mommy had to take care of a few things. But don't be alarmed. But the nun from earlier will be sleeping in our car. So again, with the underwear.
Really, she smells.
Well, we probably smell a little bit as well. So we're going to get comfortable for the evening. We're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to figure out how we're going to coexist with a nun.
As you say that, like the door does slide open. You do see that she's like in like a white shift. You know what I mean? Like the under. Is that what it's called? The shift. I think that's what it's called. The under.
I'm unfamiliar with nun garb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just know the whole thing's called a habit.
Yeah. Well, the under aspect of it. She goes and curls up into a corner and says, good night. Grunts, doesn't even say goodnight, and just kind of like goes into her Bible and starts reading.
I'll take out 3 of the overly sized and far too fluffy to be in my trunk pillows, and I'll take them over and kind of drop them beside her. And then go over to my trunk and,
Yeah, that's kind of you, lass.
well, might as well be comfortable.
How's your box?
That's personal, but it's fine.
She smiles and she like taps on the taps on the actual crate.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It serves its purpose.
Still talking about it.
Yes,
Well
we are
used. I mean,
12.
like considering what her profession was. I mean,
This is my box. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
that's much. I think we would actually kind of call it right there because we got a big adventure coming in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us at Vampires and Vitae. We'll pick up the next night, next time you see us. And always remember, take a big bite out of life.
You know what I would like to take a big bite out of? A fucking chicken sandwich. All right.
All right.
That's enough.